Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to 2019 LCK Summer, and it's Dove, the gentleman that likes to provide a little bit more moisture if you're utilizing your soap. He's named after the Dove soap. He actually is. It's incredible. One of the best name stories that we've had so far, and he's going to pick himself up. His second MVP of the LCK, and have a look at that, gentlemen. That is not Mata, that is Effort. Another debut here for SKT since the Dream Team came together. They're taking out a world champion to put in Effort. Effort was actually impressing us more and more towards the end of 2018. I'm excited to see him once again, but this shows that this is an SKT in some turmoil.
I'm a little bit speechless right now, Atlas.
I noticed with the lack of speech.
The lack of noise coming out of my mouth.
Yeah.
You know, when SKT starts doing stuff like this, it brings back flashbacks to benching FLICKR.
Yeah.
When they didn't have a jungler. It's really scary because you have to wonder what is actually going on that's causing the removal of Mata. Now, when I'm thinking about last game, Mata did engage a few times without the team able to follow up.
Yep. I mean,
So
there was some whoopsies, and actually,
yeah.
to sort of hop on that point as well, is that Mata's, there have been a lot of fans that have been pretty outspoken with Mata failing to perform at MSI. Mata was a bit of a non-factor for SKT despite their successes towards the end, although not ultimately making it across the line in their semi-final against G2. This is something that a lot of fans have been calling for because in solo queue, Effort has actually been playing out of his mind, and he has had that more aggressive play style throughout his career, despite being on an SKT that did ultimately play very slowly. I think people might actually want there to be more change. Like maybe Crazy should come in towards the top side as well, despite him not necessarily being the most high tier top laner. He was known as having a bit more of a subdued play style to that of Kahn, and Kahn can get things a little bit wrong.
How about this? They pull the 100 Thieves, and they throw
Mata into
Crazy,
Challenger,
Haru, Gory, Leo, and Effort. No, never mind. Hold on.
Don't know whether I
you want to see that, right?
Do I?
Yeah. Yeah, you do. No.
I think FLICKR and Teddy are fine. I think we can leave them. I think Clid's pretty good too. Even though Haru did show that he's pretty strong at the moment. Look at the fake artwork here in the audience. Summit fans up there as well, on the wrong side of Lol Park by the looks of things, with some fake fans in the audience, I believe. Yep.
All right.
So just a bunch of friends, all with different favorite teams. As here we are into pick and ban for what could be the final game of the night if SANDBOX push it over the line. SKT need to win on red side for the first time in summer.
Yeah, and it's gonna be a difficult feat. You know, I saw something about on Twitter that SKT can't win on red. What happened? Well, they lost to the Sith at MSI. That's what happened. You see?
We have the high ground. You underestimate my power.
That was perfect.
Thank you.
That was a perfect.
I know it would. I practiced it a lot.
Yeah, I can tell you.
Revenge of the Sith.
Probably stood in the mirror, right?
Yeah.
I saw you in the bathroom before the cast.
Don't give it away. Come on. I was practicing that for hours, and now I'm embarrassed. I was just supposed to be good at it, you know? It was supposed to be a talent that I had, not something that I just had to work for.
See, they're losing right now so that they can turn it around in round 2. Rise up, just like the Jedi, and win worlds. It's all part of the script, Atlas. Turn to page 19.
Yeah, okay, so we should have realized that obviously Disney had invested in Lol Park recently.
Disney is buying everything.
Yeah. Silas going to be the last ban here for SANDBOX. Is what's sort of standing out here? The Aatrox available, Rise available. We look into the AD carry and support position. Not exactly massive priorities, but the Tahm Kench this time is going to go unbanned.
To see that Lux was actually banned away by SKT. Hey, Aatrox now going to be removed. This means Jace is available. Summit, no stranger to taking that. Both of these teams actually have the Jace enthusiasts, and instead, Sir Thomas.
Yeah, Sir Thomas for the 6th time for Joker, if it's going to be locked in here.
About to tell SANDBOX to get on his boat.
Want to buy a sundial? Sorry, that's a really deep Hercules reference, and for some reason it made me think of Hercules.
Okay.
Not entirely sure why. All right, Tomkench locked in. And Kahn is thinking about the rise. He has an MVP on this champion so far this season. Some of the most questionable performances FLICKR has had has been on his famous rise in summer so far. See whether he can potentially redeem himself or whether Kahn is once again going to be able to make things work on this champion. Never from this side of the rift though, remember guys. As we look to see what Clid is going to be locking in. I want to see him take a jungler in the first round. I want to see him jump on something that he has a lot of comfort on that isn't necessarily a Jarvan that he has been great on in the past, but Jarvan doesn't necessarily fit as well as a lot of these others at the moment. Braum, though, is going to be taken for effort, which is really strange. Because why would you sub effort in if you're going to put him on Marta's best champion?
They didn't know. They didn't know this is how it was going to go. But Jace will be picked up now by SANDBOX. A little bit surprising they didn't jump at the opportunity. Oh, man.
And this is it. The
now
Sona Tomkench on the bottom side for Ghost and Joker.
Varus or Lucian? Varus or Lucian?
First time that we've seen the Sona out of Ghost.
Well, I've been very adamant that Lucian, Braum, Draven Braum, Varus Braum, Varus Galio, Draven Galio, those are the best answers to Sona X and bottom. Instead, they're going to try to scale against it, and I don't like that. Especially not when the enemy team already showed that they have poke options available with the Jace, and now they can recalibrate their draft because SKT's showing their hand face up.
Yep, not to mention SANDBOX don't need to worry about any of the supports with the Sona being banned away. They already have basically the optimal Sona lane. I feel like the Sona
now they can pinch jungle.
Yeah, they can do whatever they want. It's this is a SANDBOX with a very flexible draft at this stage. Rek'Sai going to be banned away. Pinching the jungle seems to be the theme on both sides of this draft.
Well, we'll see if SANDBOX will elect to follow through with pinching jungle. Rek'Sai already banned away. SK Telecom are trying to ban away physical damage junglers. Hecarim is still on the agenda. Jarvan's there.
Elise is there. Lee Sin now not there. SANDBOX going to ban that away from Clid. There are certainly a lot of junglers still up. Olaf standing out as well. And I like the Olaf with the Sona draft as well, especially now that you're building Warrior Enchant.
You know, personally, I don't even like, I don't mind Cassiopeia for SANDBOX here. SK Telecom's champions are also short range and have to now run into SANDBOX's team composition because the Jace and the Sona are present. And so it becomes really easy to mess up the Rise. And it's also a flex pick if Dove is able to actually pilot the Jace in mid lane. So with short range being so prevalent on SKT's side, it does definitely get scary.
Does. SANDBOX, though, I wouldn't mind actually picking something of more of an AD persuasion in the mid lane because you can pair the Elise with this draft and play Elise Jace side of the map as the Yasuo is going to be banned against SKT. Gragas is still available, so they just banned one portion of the Gragas Yasuo.
The combo,
Feeling like they didn't want to pilot one or the other. So SKT, what do they pick up here? Looking for a jungler or a solo laner? The Gragas. Not going to be the case. It is going to be the Elise. And I was talking about it. I actually feel like this is a decent pick away, even if OnFleek wasn't necessarily going to play it, because Elise Jace has been a good way to guarantee a victory top lane.
Yeah. And now if you're SANDBOX, Kahn.
Just do it. Give us the Rast.
I don't think that would be... I think it would be Shadow. Yeah, that's 3 ranged champions right now on the side of SKT.
That is true.
That would probably end up being Shadow Kahn. And with the buff to his Z, it is quite obnoxious, the Shadow Kahn. He
stays inside walls for a really long time.
Yep, and the cooldown on it is just so short early on. So if you get the transform early, it's quite nice. Xin Zhao is picked up. It's actually one of OnFleek's favorite champions. He was a Xin Zhao Camille enthusiast.
He was.
A very long time ago. As were many junglers, you know? Red, Scuttle, gank mid, red gank mid. However you want. FLICKR potentially gonna bring out the LeBlanc, but instead...
The Lucian, the old favorite pick.
Lucian. I'm gonna get it right.
Lucian, yes.
Lucian,
sorry.
Alright.
But no, 2 seconds to go. Camille mid. Gonna be locked away for FLICKR. He's been playing a heck of a lot of it. Of course, I know many of us watch FLICKR's stream. He has certainly been playing a lot of it. In fact, it was the first I saw of this Korean pick before it was picked here in the LCK.
The SK Telecom.
Okay, no, but Kahn could be piloting it topside. Interesting. Maybe
we'll have to wait till
20 seconds.
Yeah. So the SKT team composition's definitely a lot more aggressive. If it falls behind, though, no legs to stand on.
Yeah.
So definitely not very traditional SK Telecom drafting. SANDBOX, once again, they have very long range. They have a lot of poke. And they have the mid-rangey kind of front line inside of the Xin Zhao that is definitely a nuisance for several of the members on the side of SKT. So this is definitely scary. Clid has to get the ball rolling early on. And if SKT fall behind or they roll really bad dragons, it becomes a nightmare scenario because they're going to need Baron to close.
They will. However, Clid is on the Elise. This is a champion that he has had a lot of success on and does have so much strength in the early stages of the game. And something that SKT have always had, it's the ability to ward the map. Now, with Martyr out of the roster and Effort now in, will they have the same level of vision control? We'll have to find out as we move into game number 2. A lot of people have been calling to see Effort one more time. There's going to be a lot on his shoulders to live up to the expectations of these SKT fans. Because I know, I mean, a lot of us just want to have some change, want to see SKT adapt and move forward. Here in the summer meta, they haven't quite been able to catch up on just yet, as much as a lot of our other teams, such as Kingzone, FLICKR, and SANDBOX as well, that they're trying to deal with now.
We're about to jump into the game. Let's hear from the fans how they're feeling.
Well, there are some really passionate SANDBOX fans, but there are just a hell of a lot of SKT fans here at LoL Park.
That's a very interesting thing, Atlas, but
I'm
going to talk to you about the stars in that sky. What do you think that is?
The LCK logo.
No. They planets or what?
No, there's stars. There's suns.
They are just suns.
Yeah, they got to be. That's what suns are.
All right, you know what?
Sorry, stars are. Are you trying to bait me into talking about flat earthing? Is that what you're trying to do?
You caught me.
Yeah, we're not doing that. We're not doing that. G-Sun almost thought I was a flat earther today. I don't want to go back there.
She had a NASA shirt on today.
Yeah. Not that I have anything against people having different opinions. Just that's a wrong one, is Dove. Okay. That worked ground. Unfortunately, was stepped back in on. So only got a little bit to try and take down FLICKR there.
This is tragic.
Oh, no.
The great bait.
But both of them. I mean, Clid sitting on a ward, while SANDBOX are both sitting on wards. OnFleek had a sweeper. He has a sweeper active right now.
Uh-oh. Oh, I thought he was going to go all the way around the left-hand side. But without a ward inside of this brush, it can definitely get a little bit dangerous.
And also, Clid's got volatile spiraling, right? So you have to have it in order to start off in the jungle, because otherwise it's just too long to clear, and therefore he has to. He doesn't have anything to stop OnFleek from just killing it with his Hail of Blades Xin Zhao. So that's just an easy steal to come in from the SANDBOX jungler. He's going to go red to red, guarantee the 3-buff start, which is what you can do on the Xin Zhao. See how Clid is going to be able to deal with this.
Clid's actually just starting solo on the blue side jungle, which is definitely going to be very rough because you can't transition into a bottom gank. And even if they know where Xin Zhao is right now, he actually paths and mirrors back the same side of the map movement that Clid does. And so it becomes really awkward for him to do anything. And remember, the onus is on SKT to get the ball rolling, even though they have so many scaling champions.
Yeah, this is the problem that we had when we were talking about. I think it was Kingzone versus someone, and they were the team that had the Sona, and despite all of the scaling on the opposite side, it just straight up didn't matter. Because Sona just scales even harder as FLICKR lands the hookshot onto Dove. He now has to just walk away, gets the second application of the E, and now Dove trying to turn it around, using the range advantage, using the minions. As it is an even trade in the end, Dove is ahead in farm.
And the other thing to note is FLICKR, he still has his cookie. Very important.
That is true. That is true. Dub, though, can surf back to lane.
Yeah. So with everything that has transpired thus far, Xinjiao definitely making out a little bit better than Clid. Infernal Dragon, super heavy priority for both of these teams.
You see Joker's actually gone for the Guardian this time around on the Tahm Kench as well, not wanting to go for any of those spellbook shenanigans to get extra smites here. Just wants to be able to survive in this lane and do as well as possible. Have a bit of extra farm. As you can see, he's only one behind Teddy. Feeling pretty good on this Tahm Kench at this point in time. He's got Cleanse, Teleport here on Ghost. So still feeling confident enough to take that on the Sona. First day out here for Ghost on the Sona as well. So Ghost has always been a pretty good, awesome dude player for SANDBOX. SANDBOX had some pretty creative drafts in spring and during the awesome dude meta.
And it's a very different type of champion to pilot for some certain ADCs, so not surprising that not everyone's just picking it up immediately and piloting it to great success.
Yeah.
She's a great champion. I really like Sona.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. No sarcasm.
We talked about this before.
Yeah, no
Absolutely.
I agree. I think she's fantastic. I like Silent Nine Sona. Discuss. DJ is picked up here though for Ghost. See exactly what kind of tunes he's pumping out. I actually find it a little bit sad that we don't get to join in on whatever Sona's playing.
Yeah, that is
default music for us right now is Dove. Gonna get stunned. That's an immediate cleanse, understanding that the Elise was in the area. Good vision available, but also had walked over the lane. Dove just slightly out of position, means that he has to blow that summoner spell, but crucially, not his flash.
I'm actually a little bit surprised that Clid doesn't go flash for flash there, just to get the flash off of Dove, because then once Camille has level 6, it's so easy to set everything up.
Maybe scared of OnFleek finding him in the jungle.
Yeah, they don't have deeper vision, and so if OnFleek is there, then yes, it does turn into potentially a nightmare scenario if Dove delays his flash and baits Clid in, but nonetheless, so far here in game number 2, SANDBOX has a little bit of a gold advantage.
Ghost pops up just to get a ward over into that Dragon Pit, understanding that it is an Infernal Drake this time around. And pretty high priority on the Dragon list. See how Ghost is going when it comes to stacking up his Frostfang. Teleport back here for Effort, who does have a Spellbook. And SKT will have a lot of power pushing in. A lot of priority here on the bottom side, looking for that first plate, as Ghost takes a whole bunch of his health bar in damage. W is going to be there. He should be A-OK, but you can see he's not exactly getting a lot of value out of his Kleptomancy or that Frostfang. Looking at the money is a slight advantage, but the big one is the fact that Joker has so much money in comparison to Effort.
And so now, the junglers are going to be on opposite sides of the map, and this could mean that an Infernal Capture could come up for OnFleek. He has the items necessary to actually solo it.
Okay, Ghost is going to get dived on. Song of Celerity gets him out of the way. That's a Boomerang Blade from Teddy, but Ghost only gets hit by one portion of that damage. Nothing actually used on the side of SKT's bottom lane, and that was just 2 versus 1, and Ghost having to flash under his own turret.
And he's playing really safe, even giving up some of the CS, because he doesn't have total intel on where Elise is, I believe. So, just respecting SKT, not wanting to throw away any advantages. Even if you fall behind a little bit on Sona, it's perfectly okay.
Yeah, well, OnFleek's going to come down and see whether he can get rid of a flash or two from Effort and Teddy. Winter's Bite is going to be available here for Effort, though, so it'll be hard for OnFleek to close that distance. However, moving a little bit further over to the side than you'd otherwise want. Here for SKT as Clid doesn't find the Cocoon onto Dove in the mid lane. Very close to having that cleanse back available again, so Clid feeling some pressure to make something happen. Okay, Ghost finally getting some money from this Kleptomancy, trying to get some more work done on the quest completion as well. We did have a Sona that completed the quest 7 minutes into the game. I believe that was Deft. That was some really silly quest completion timings. Not going to be happening this time around, though, for Ghost. He hasn't been able to get the auto attacks that he's wanted. Joker does have a fully completed support item, though. This is a very rich Tahm Kench.
Now, it does look like Teddy and Effort are looking for a recall, but the sustain offered by Sona is...
Double Fairy Charm in there as well, so going to be getting that mana back relatively effectively. Level 6 available for both of these bottom laners as OnFleek moves on in again.
And if you're Clid right now and you end up pathing into bottom lane and Teddy is forced to recall, it doesn't feel that good because then you become pressured to make a gank appear from the right-hand side, and that's just not going to be that good. Also, Scuttlecrab left-hand side as well, so Clid is having to path in a very unfortunate direction, which is not going to be the best situation in the world unless somehow Effort and Teddy can manipulate Joker and Ghost into believing.
Okay, Hextech Ultimatum down in the mid lane. FLICKR trying to keep Dove there. Uses Seismic Shove just basically as a way to try and zone. Does have to flash, does get out. FLICKR's going to win that one. Glacial Fissure down, that's a dead Sona. First Blood going over to Clid as Teddy trying to tank up this turret. They can see Joker is so easy to take down, and Clid grabs his second. Effort is going to heal, but that's just to make sure that SKT secure everything they want.
And this is a really, really big pickup right there. FLICKR getting the flash out of Dove in mid lane and also drawing OnFleek towards the mid side of the map. Clid able to convert his path into the right-hand side into a gank because the enemy jungler can't be there then at that point. He was drawn mid lane, they're able to pick up the kill onto Ghost and Joker, and they convert it into an Infernal Drake capture.
Just huge. OnFleek's going to allow that Rift Scuttler to burn down, but Shelly should actually come in here even though it's under the noses of SKT. They went for that reset immediately after the Drake, as Dove gets back here into the mid lane. Didn't actually fall down, remember, in that last exchange. The bottom lane for SANDBOX, not so lucky. So
another Infernal Drake is spawned.
Wow.
We got some fire in this game number 2.
It went last time, what was it? Infernal into Ocean, Cloud.
Yeah.
Cloud.
Yeah.
That was not so interesting. But now at least we've got one apiece. Shelly does go down. OnFleek's going to pick that one up comfortably. Meanwhile, we look at bottom side of the map. It's SANDBOX going for a bit of a switcheroo. As Teddy's still on the bottom side, but teleport in hand. They will have the ability to maneuver this Sivir across the map.
They're definitely looking to try to get some proactivity going on with this lane swap. And it doesn't look like SK Telecom are reacting to it as clean as they could. Teddy a little bit slow to push the wave, but he should be able to convert into plates. Instead, he's backing up. Yeah, you can see he's being very cautious as he doesn't have confirmation of what's going on. Look at how careful he's being. Captain careful down there.
Yeah, exactly. Just hanging out. Can't see where OnFleek is. Now he knows that there are 4 members topside. You can see all 5 members of SANDBOX here as he moves back down to this outer turret bot side. Shelly's going to charge on forward. It's 3 versus 4, and we've got a lot of poke available for SANDBOX. You see Summit, you can just throw out those EQs off cooldown, as that's 3 plates that are going to go down. Now FLICKR not going to get hit by the Seismic Shove.
Oh, they kept the final plate alive for the time being.
Feels like a matter of time before that goes down, but you're right. I think the first turret going to go over to SKT here, so trading up and retaining some control on this map.
Oh, no.
That's a whoopsie. Summit is going to get in there. Hammer form, extra movement speed is good. Can you actually get that to the skies? And the answer is no. Teddy, enough movement speed with the ultimate. He gets out.
Does get the Sivir ultimate out of her, but at the end of the day, it's still a huge victory for SK Telecom. And so now, Elise, everyone, they get to basically reset temporarily. It's going to be the teleport coming in into top lane. Now, will Elise path there immediately after red? That's the big question. You have to know that you're likely going to be warded up. And so if they're trying to make a proactive play, it would be to attempt to draw attention to SANDBOX's top lane to lure them away from the right side of the map in preparation for the upcoming Infernal, and just create a lot of pressure. There's also still plates to capture with a minute remaining.
Yeah. Only 13 on the clock as it stands. 2 minutes until the next Infernal is available. So 15 minutes on the clock for that one. Likely that SANDBOX will not let that one go without a fight. Checking in on items. Archangels is done here for Kahn. Still on the way for Ghost. The Essence Reaver is there though. Hook shot. Not enough range as Dove looks for the seismic shove. That could have been very dangerous. Speaking of which, Ghost going down to below 200 health, top side. Now Joker just tries to clean this up as best as possible and is going to be successful. As SKT, they just have a lot of pressure. Haven't been able to get too many more kills after that first bottom side dive, but this is way more proactive than what we saw out of the SKT in game number 1.
Looks like Ghost is going to commit his teleport to top lane. He wants to hold on to these last turrets, and it looks like SK Telecom, they're going to recall effort. He's running back top lane, even though Infernal's coming up in a minute. Very surprised that they don't just concede. Top tier 1 turret, rotate the Sivir and the Braum into the Infernal Dragon, capture it, and then plant them back down in bottom lane. Move your Rise to the top lane. He can start freezing in front of top tier 2. And then you just scale with your double Infernal Drake temporarily, item completions, take a team fight around 3rd Dragon.
Yep, that seems what I would assume. And Effort also seems to have the summoner spells for that School of Thought also, as the Heal Ignite has come in, looking for some more battle stats to take into a potential fight, as Ghost is really struggling to last hit these creeps underneath the turret. Eventually figures it out for the last few caster creeps. He's completed his quest so far, so can now start trying to farm, but at the moment, he's 100 CS in the hole after the Frostmancy completion, and that's bad. That's not going to get you enough money, I don't think.
Well, we'll see what ends up happening here, as this dragon is super, super big for both of these teams.
SANDBOX is the first to get to the play, though. As you can see, Summit,
yeah.
He's dealing with a minion wave towards an inner turret, but will be able to get that one pushed out. Equalized waves. Bottom side of the map, FLICKR's up towards the top side, teleport in hand, however.
SANDBOX have all the priority, but teleport available on FLICKR. Summit's here as well. That's a big chunk onto Clid.
Yeah, it's a huge shock blast, Clid. I don't know whether he can actually get in here. Cocoon is going to land, but it's only onto the Tahm Kench. Ultimate flies forward from Effort. Look at the AoE into this pit. Goes so low, flashes over the wall, but FLICKR denies anything. He's going to go down before Joker even falls. And now, over the wall, not enough, as the audacious charge a little bit too late to come off cooldown. Summit dives on top of Clid, immediately transitions over to Effort, who flashes, gets back over the wall, and that's why we subbed this man in. The young man mechanics from the SKT
Summit.
support. Not so much for Clid there, as Summit just dives on him. A really exciting team fight on both sides. I'm not entirely sure who won.
They gotta be a little bit careful. This is a Jace. He can definitely blow you to pieces. If he gets an execute, that's a really big thing, but Braum should be able to get the experience. Oh, never mind, he wasn't moving.
Yeah, not gonna happen. He was actually waiting for an item. That's a whoopsie. Probably wasn't gonna be able to catch up anyway, so that is certainly good news.
Let's take a look at this.
But yeah, let's have a look at it one more time.
The Cocoon hits onto Tahm Kench, and Joker gets chunked so heavy. Summit in the back, able to do so much damage to FLICKR, but Hextech Ultimatum comes out. Eventually, Joker's actually saved, but OnFleek, he was locked up inside of the Dragon Pit. Had he been able to go over the wall a lot sooner, this would have been a lot cleaner for SANDBOX. Summit trying to be basically Superman. He was almost able to get effort right there. Chase nerf, am I right? Thanks, chat. All right, so right there. Elise ends up getting cleaned up right at the end.
Yeah, I was biting off a little more than she can chew. As, yeah, you were talking about Jace nerfs. Can we have some more? Please, sir.
You know, I was against the Jace nerfs.
You were?
I was. I feel like a Jace is very akin to Azir or Lee Sin or champions like that few players can really pilot.
Get the most
Yeah,
out of.
to get the most out of. Not everyone is capable of actually playing Jace.
Yep. There's a lot of champions like that. Ryze is another example of a champion that doesn't have a high solo queue win rate, because you have to have sunk a few games into that champion and be pretty skilled in order to make things work. Effort moves on over, lands his Winter Spite, but otherwise not too much to happen as Kahn turns up on the bottom side. Dove can't thread the volleys. SKT wander out unscathed. Top lane outer turrets is still standing, and that bottom lane inner, bottom lane outer is all that's fallen in favor of SKT. Weaver's wall comes in. SANDBOX starting another fight, but Unbreakable exists. That old interaction, denying the wall.
I really gotta say, every time Sona presses the button and that little tune comes out, that sounds really good. Yeah, it sounds really nice.
Yeah, DJ Sona's a great skin, man.
They need to use that tune to make another type of song, you know?
It's in her songs.
They need to make it a full song.
It is. They are full. She has 3 different full songs. You didn't know that?
No, I mean like an actual pop song, like the KDA songs.
Oh, right, like the KDA songs. Okay, okay.
follow along.
I don't understand. Like, do you need lyrics to have an act? Is that what an actual song means to you?
Yeah, no, I mean like
I'm
a
pretty
produced...
sure like a song is just like
okay.
something with a melody, right?
You know
like,
what?
If we want to be pedantic.
Love
Okay. SKT shoving into the mid lane. This is going to be below half health for the outer, but Teddy's unable to stick around to finish that one off. FLICKR though, pressure elsewhere on the map as this top lane outer turret is certainly going to die.
So the really scary thing here is SKT, they have a lot of one-shot potential in some of their champions if they can land a Rune Prison onto Sona, or any of the members for that matter, or a Camille Ultimate, an Elise Cocoon. That's what their team composition is going to end up being degraded to as this game crawls on.
Crescendo lands into the mid lane.
Yeah.
Teddy does have a spell shield, but not enough. Ghost is going to survive as well as Summit turns up in the nick of time. It's the Tahm Kench that grabs the kill. I'm excited about that. Thomas deserves everything that he can get. 3,000 gold, still the lead for SKT, but now a man advantage on the Rift for SANDBOX.
Mountain Drake coming up in 50 seconds, and we always talk about how great that is for Sona team compositions. It makes it so easy to do the Baron, which is typically sometimes one of the weaknesses of Sona team comps.
Interested in what this Forbidden Idol is going to turn into, as there's the Weaver's Wall just to get SKT out of the way, but Effort was there, standing ready. That's a great seismic shove as Effort is going to die. Underneath the turret, Teddy teleports back in. The minion wave was dealt with earlier, but that's another quick pick. And Summit, so much time bought for him to push underneath this turret. FLICKR now looking to try and get him, but he's just so quick. Hextech Ultimatum, no opportunity to even use it as OnFleek was already there.
Yeah, and Summit just got so much value, and the gold lead is now dissipating. SANDBOX, they're in position to get the next Mountain Drake.
Yeah, this is once again SANDBOX just playing better as a team in this mid-game. This is SANDBOX's time, though. This is when SANDBOX plays their best League of Legends, is when they can get out of the laning phase and start moving around with their power, start really flexing their muscles on the Rift when there are still outer turrets, things like that still available, and the game hasn't been controlled. Clid, once again, powered shock blast to the face. SKT are by no means out of this, but they do need to show us that they've grown, that they've changed, they have fixed up their playstyle. Okay.
A lot of damage onto Ghost, but he has teleport.
He does. And Seraph's Embrace is also just transformed, so we'll now have that one available. Forbidden Idol is there. I wonder what that's going to turn into. As he goes back home, he might
Maybe it just goes Redemption.
Yeah. Hardened Sensor could come in as well if he wants to. Would benefit OnFleek and Summit a hell of a lot, actually, if you pick that one up and you have it in an AoE as your W gets used. In fact, she's a disgusting Hardened Sensor abuser. But it's just not necessarily
that was
the
a beautiful
style
crescendo.
It was, and hiding the animation behind the turret as well, absolutely fantastic.
It's really, really, really nice play by Ghost.
I didn't actually see. I saw the animation of the ultimate come out, but not her do a wind up, which is a lot of what gives you the idea. Tower falls down though, as SKT are able to brute force that one. War of attrition successful here for SKT, getting control of that outer turret mid lane. FLICKR moving on over to try and steal a blue buff, but
Ardent Sensor. Yeah, it is completed now for Sona, which means this is a massive spike right now for SANDBOX if they were to team fight. But if they just wait a little bit longer, they're going to have the Sterix, they're going to have the Black Cleaver on the Jace as well. And so there's no... Oh, man, are they going to go for a Baron bait?
In a Baron pit is actually a hell of a lot of extra on-hit damage.
Holy!
Look at this thing melt. Infernal Drake and Mountain, it's down to half health as SKT. They're realm warping over Dove. His wall gets completely built. Effort can't get over. The Baron is going to get taken down. But no, it's going to be a 50-50. Oh, Clid! Just going to take it down. Joker, remember, did not have the smite. That is going to be secured by the Tahm Kench regardless. And SANDBOX have done it again. 20 minutes on the clock, and they just steal a Baron.
They just stole it right under their noses. The Mountain Dragon coming into effect right there as well. Surely helping them get everything sped up. And now, SKT, they have Rise and Sivir. They're not horrible at resisting Baron. They are, though, at 22.5 minutes. The champions also don't have the items.
Okay, Joker, Grey Health's going to be eaten very early. Seismic Shove moves over to the side. Ghost is doing so much damage now, though.
Yeah.
You saw that Q landing on two members of SKT. Crazy damage coming in here as SANDBOX finally get themselves into a gold lead scenario. 1.7 thousand. I want to applaud that Baron one more time. Just the idea of going for this at this time was so smart.
In theory, SK Telecom should have been able to react to this a little bit better, actually utilizing the Rise ultimate to try to position some of the members over if they were going to actually go for a fight at the Baron pit. But it was so intelligent and quick and decisive of SANDBOX to initiate that play. And you can see there's a lot of enthusiasm.
Yeah, coaching staff, it seems to be something that they have actually done in scrims. You know, I love that they go straight to the Baron pit as soon as that Ardent Sensor is finished. That comes in, they understand that now, with OnFleek on the Zin's out and the Jace there on the roster, they just do so much single target damage. Not to mention, Taliyah being one of the highest single target sort of PvE mages anyway. Really, really cool stuff. I love to see this sort of innovation here, and SANDBOX have done it so many different times so far.
What a spicy game we have on our hands. Another Infernal Dragon.
Yeah, and also, this is a game that has been moving much more quickly than that of game number one. Seismic Shove comes in. That's a high-value Shock Blast there from Summit. As just brute force in a turret, no answer from SKT at this stage. I have a feeling that they will be trying to defend these inhibitor turrets as FLICKR off to the side, wants to find that flank, wants to find that ultimate. But that's just an inhibitor turret dead. SKT needs to pull a trigger of some kind sooner rather than later.
They need to just wait. Right now, Baron is going to dissipate in about a minute. They can get priority to the Infernal, which is looking like what FLICKR and Kahn are trying to do. Baron recall going to come in. They're going to beeline straight to the Infernal. A little bit too late there.
Okay, yeah.
But top inhibitor, not the end of the world. It's the closest Baron, or the closest inhibitor to Baron, which means that your carry is always going to be in close proximity to it. So that's why it's considered the worst one until Elder Dragon starts becoming an actual threat in the later stages of the game. Then it can be argued that it's the best one to have, depending on what the map state is, the team comps items, yada, yada, yada. And from here, if SK Telecom just allow this Infernal Dragon to be taken, it's a pretty unfortunate spot. I like what SANDBOX are doing. They're clearing out all the vision surrounding the Infernal, because they can also use this as a double, or they can use it as a way to fork SKT. I'm always careful with that one.
Now, the thing
into a team fight.
The thing that I like about this, though, is they can now play around bot side, which is not theoretically what you should be doing at this stage of the game, because Baron is so valuable until the Elder Drake is on the map. But with that top inhibitor down, they can use it like the bottom inhibitor down around a Baron. They just do it around an Infernal Drake instead. Guarantee that one. Double Infernal and a Mountain here for the squad that has the Sona and now a 3,000 gold lead. That's very scary for SKT fans, staring down the barrel of a 2-0 for SANDBOX.
He got 16 AD. It's a long sword and a half. I was checking that out.
Oh yeah? Who did?
Xin Zhao.
All right,
and he's not even the one building attack damage. So imagine what Jace and Taliyah and whatnot are getting in terms of value out of the Dragon.
Not to mention the fact that Dove and Ghost will have some pretty cool hats coming up pretty soon.
That needs to be a stat. They need to have, you know how your champions have the little
the dragon bonus.
Yeah, it needs to tell you what you're getting.
Yeah. I don't know whether everyone's as passionate about it as you are, but I would like it.
I
think it sounds good, yeah.
Twitch chat would like it. YouTube chat would like it. Come on.
Okay, guys. Sound off. Would you like it? I think the stream needs to catch back up.
The stream's going to catch back up.
Too.
It's all right.
I would like it. Yeah, we got a few.
Yeah, we got quite a bit.
A bit of positivity here. Yeah, lots of yeses. All right.
Fantastic.
Make it happen. Make it happen, chat.
Riot. Make it happen, chat. There you go.
That needs to be a hashtag. Make it happen, chat. Okay, SANDBOX. What they're making happen is darkness for SKT in their own jungle. And Drake fell down very, very simply. And now the Baron is available in 50 seconds. Teddy just completed his Infinity Edge. We've got a Frozen Heart on Kahn, trying to tank as much as possible. Seismic Shove comes in, Effort trying to keep himself alive. Seismic Shove not, of course, finding anything. As top side, we've got Super Creeps getting a lot of work done, but bottom side, FLICKR on his own.
He's going to get a turret, he's going to get a lot of solo XP, as well as gold.
But is anyone actually going to go back for this? It looks like Summit is heading down. I think he's on a ward, but is able to get home in time. 20 seconds now, though, as
look at the
celerity
XP
is there.
Between the two teams. SK Telecom's champions, FLICKR's ahead a level. The junglers are actually tied.
Teddy's
Kahn is
2
down.
levels ahead.
Teddy's 2 levels ahead. This is something that can happen.
Oh,
okay.
Clid caught out of position. Doesn't go down immediately, but eventually he's just taken before any response can be made. Kahn flashes defensively. SANDBOX with their Sona composition, 5 members all together. And FLICKR, he had to go back. Clid now, no jungler on the map. That should be a pretty free Baron here for SANDBOX unless SKT can make something heroic happen.
They're going to need to pull a miracle.
Yeah, Seismic Shove's going to go wide. They are turning. Half health bar onto Kahn. Lots of low health bars. In fact, FLICKR, the healthiest member of SKT. You can see this Baron is melting at the hands of SANDBOX. And SKT realize there is no way they can do anything about it. Minions crashing towards the top side. These Nexus turrets under fire. A free reset now for SANDBOX, and this is so much control. 4,000 gold the lead, but it just feels like more.
Well, it feels like so much more. A double Infernal is definitely giving so much gold in terms of stats. Line, right? And then in addition to that, the Sona, the scaling, we talk about it all the time.
It's mostly levels here for Sona. I think that level 16 is like super huge, so her being behind there was good for SKT, but just not having the vision. They needed to try and get someone in there to get vision down, but just unfortunate that it was Clid that fell down.
Yeah. Clid fell super early on, and they're just not able to stabilize the game.
Yeah, and that's what SKT in the past has been so incredibly good at. That was their MO, but it just feels like this meta, that is not the way you're supposed to play. It's not about stabilizing your opponent's decisions. It's about making your own. You gotta make your own destiny here. It's not like someone's going to decide it for you, like it has been in the past for League of Legends.
SKT does get a little bit of a breather with the Ocean Dragon coming up. That will slow down SANDBOX, provided that SKT can actually manage to live and endure this Baron push, which, as I mentioned before, Ryze and Sivir are okay at it.
Yeah, absolutely. And FLICKR's looking for the all-in. There's the ultimatum. That's immediately the Devour from Joker to keep that Sona alive. About half health now as the crescendo is to follow up. They went for the YOLO play, but it straight up didn't work. Everyone dying. Teddy, the last man standing. It might be a quadra kill for Summit as Sona ends up falling down off the back end. Teddy does need to be respected.
It's always Teddy at the end.
Yep, OnFleek going to go down very, very low. In fact, his GA has been popped as Dove turns up, misses another ability. Come on, SANDBOX. Let's take some turrets and not press our advantage too far.
Yeah.
15 seconds on Clid and effort, as Teddy does have so much wave clear. Now looking for to 1v4. He is going to get taken down to his GA, and the Nexus turrets are going to erupt. Teddy gets one more, but it's Joker, OnFleek, and Dove, and they should have enough damage to take down this Nexus at 31 minutes. The Weavers Wall comes in to try and help it out, but no, the last auto attack will do it. 32 minutes on the clock, and SANDBOX 2-0 SKT.
And that was a really weird team fight at the end where FLICKR went in. Teddy was out of mana completely on the Sivir, which was really interesting because they had the breathing room coming their way with the Ocean Dragon, which means the Elder wouldn't come up for quite a while. They had a couple more minutes inside of them, and even if you lose bottom inhibitor and top inhibitor, you can hold on for 5+ minutes because Elder won't come up for at least 6, 7 maybe. And then at that point, your Sivir and Ryze get more items, you have a higher chance to take the team fight, even though you're pressured from 2 angles. It's not the end of the world because one of the inhibitors is a false inhibitor due to the proximity to Baron. So, little bit bizarre and reckless play coming out of SKT at the very end, but SANDBOX definitely showing up big.
Yeah, really amazing performance. I'm having a bit of a
Summit
brain explosion.
Is the best Jace in LCK, by the way.
I think he has actually extended over our legendary Jace players of the past. Yeah, I don't think Kahn really can stand up to him yet. I feel like Summit is one of the best top laners, right? I feel like it's Kahn and Summit. Kahn and Summit are our top laners at the moment.
Summit was Kahn's practice partner for a year.
Yeah. No, they sat behind each other.
You want to talk about
on a Freak of Freaks?
You want to talk about Goku and Gohan? There you go. I had to throw in a DBZ.
I don't think Kahn's his dad. I think that's how that works. Isn't it Goku?
You ruined it.
I think it's more like Goku and Vegeta. You know, they're like sort of they were on the same team, like at one point, but also enemies at other points.
I like where you're going with this one. This one's definitely better. I'll give it to you.
Okay, there we go.
I'll give it to you.
Nailed it. Thankfully, I can still get in some of the pop culture references towards the end of our time here. I know you're going to probably need a few more of them. I think Brendan's been doing some research on on some more for you, so I think you guys have
SKT is like Dragon Ball Z if Goku actually just never won. Everyone shows up every time, and they're like, surely SKT is going to win, right? It's like, no.
Oh, well, I mean, they did spend a lot of time winning, but I guess Goku did too.
I mean, all right, come on. This team brought G2 to a Game 5.
Exactly, second best team in the world.
Right.
Yep. Team Liquid didn't do that, therefore SKT
Right.
second best team in the world. I think that's undisputed. However, right now, SKT find themselves in a really troubling scenario. They were able to take a win over Kingzone, but to be 2-0'd so handedly here by a SANDBOX that mixed up their playstyle multiple times and just straight up took advantage of SKT playing more slowly than other teams.
Yeah. And SANDBOX are ramping up more and more. This split of LCK is actually exciting.
It really is. It's really starting to get itself into a position where a whole lot of these teams are extraordinarily close.
Yes.
I want to have a look at the standings just to double check exactly where we are after today's matches, but FLICKR Freaks and Kingzone and Griffin all tied for that 3-1 is really, really exciting. Yeah?
It is.
We're shaping up for some good stuff. I think we might even have an LS that's impressed by the end of this season with something that's League of Legends related instead of just flags falling from the sky.
Oh, Teamfight Tactics, huh? This isn't sponsored, I swear.
Well, I mean, it sort of is. It's still Riot Games,
Yeah,
right? Like,
you're right. You got me there.
yeah, we're literally in LoL Park right now.
Bilgewater Cafe has the best food.
Yeah, really does.
Yeah, it does.
Had
It
the
really
pizza
does.
again
We
today.
had
It was
the pizza
absolutely
again, and
fantastic.
the
We
chili fries.
we do have to bring it back because we need to discuss what SKT can do to actually fix their problems. And is subbing effort in part of that solution? Is subbing crazy in eventually part of that solution, or is it let's try and change the mindset of these players?
The thing is that we would have to use so much conjecture to really get into it because we can't really know what is happening.
Behind the scenes.
Behind the scenes. Why is FLICKR engaging when Teddy has no mana? Why is when Teddy has no mana? Nice. Mana.
Yeah. Teddy has no mana.
Mana, yeah.
Don't engage without mana! That's why they never engaged this
Right,
game.
right.
Okay. No, they did.
But it's so bizarre to see such a constant indecision. And also the Baron is very bizarre. You're telling me that all 4 of the SKT members can't tell that they can't stop the Baron and aren't immediately responding to the minions as a way to attack Baron indirectly sooner? It seems like there's a lot of discord inside of the team when it comes to decision making and things to do. And when they're not able to just pulverize their opposition with raw mechanics, it's starting to falter. And they're going through this roller coaster where they were hyped up to be a super team. They came out at Kespa Cup. They looked a little bit vulnerable. And then they ramped up over spring. They looked really good. And now they're back to taking the nosedive.
Yeah.
And it looks very weird. But without knowing, like, look at this. Look at Teddy. What do you want him to do in this team fight? I don't know what FLICKR's doing. There's no reason to pull the trigger. Look at the proximity of the top and mid waves here. The Ocean Dragon coming up. Just give up the bottom inhibitor. Even if they run through your bottom base and go to the top inhibitor, that's okay.
The way I think the way they were thinking was that we just straight up can't win if we just let the game go on. So let's start a fight and go for a desperation team fight for all the marbles. And ultimately it didn't work. As we have a look at this genius Baron call. Listen to the players.
They're saying eat it fast, eat it fast, eat it fast.
I just don't think
Fast,
anyone
fast,
has
fast,
a Kill, nice, nice, nice. I just love how intense Joker is. Look at Joker right now. This guy is the heart and soul of their team, especially vocally. And just like curled over his keyboard. And wow, Teddy.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness.
Someone get this guy to Europe already. Come on.
Well, I mean that's a big old number. That is
Oh my god!
I feel like it's time to post a sad plane though. You know, like that's the feeling that we're getting. Like this is such like a Teddy graph, you know. But this is a Teddy graph from 2018.
I get it.
It's not what we want to see.
SKT has wings in their icon because airplanes have wings.
Hey,
that's why they got Teddy.
That's the shout out to Teddy. That's what we should have known that was in the timeline.
Yeah. Sad Korea Telecom. That's what the SKT stood for.
Can't really. Who can argue with that at this stage? Still plenty of time to turn things around for SKT. They still have so much talent, but they really need to make some changes. Summit is going to pick up the MVP. 300 points now for him. Incredible play from this guy. He has been just getting better and better over the entirety of 2019. Just really good to see all of this new talent making its way into the LCK.
Really salvaged this team fight, and I mean, if it wasn't for Jad, all right, he would have killed him.
Jad is getting so much from us here in the LCK.
I love Jad.
Yeah, me too. I just feel like we're advertising for Jad.
All right. What? The stopwatch right in their face. Yeah, I see this engage over and over, and it really looks like a solo Q tilt engage.
But also the execution was actually brilliant, especially from Joker and the way the follow up after the Devour was used with the crescendo that was held onto. No early panic crescendos or anything like that. Ghost lined it up, made sure he got it on all three of the attackers. Yeah. And then if Sona survives, like she did in that scenario, it's a one-team fight 100% of the time.
Yeah.
So really, really good stuff. So let's throw it over to Jisun now for the MVP interview.
Thank you very much, guys. And this is today's interview translation. And we're going to be joined by Dove Summit from SANDBOX, picking up 2-0 victory up against SK Telecom. I'm really happy to pick up another MVP today. And also this is the 4th anniversary of our company SANDBOX, so this is even more meaningful for us. Seems very loyal, Dove. And what about you, Summit? Because you guys took down your natural enemy, Griffin, and then you took down the champion SK Telecom. How are you able to pull that off? Nothing special, just working really hard. As a team, we try to cheer up and practice as hard as we can. So, game number 1, Dove, you were the MVP. Your move, your mechanic was on point. So let's go through the highlights together. So, we saw Zarvan in the bot side of the map, but this was a situation where our teammates were able to kind of give us support, and I knew that I had flash, so I kind of wanted to try some risky play, but it worked out really well, so I was a bit lucky. I mean, because I didn't have any flash, I knew that J4 was gonna burn his flash and go aggressive on me, so I was kind of having some mental fight over there. So this is your first Rise play in Summer Split, however, it's having a 6-1 record in LCK overall. So speaking of today's Rise, was that a flex pick or a mid pick? Every champion that is okay for mid and top lane flex, we are always having thoughts in mind. But today, I thought that it would be a good situation to play it in mid. Game number 2, Summit, you played Jace. But your Jace was on a 5 games losing streak, but you were the one giving him stopping his losing streak. I think Jace is still good. I don't know why it was on a losing streak. However, game number 2, early game was not that easy, but were the players still confident you guys were able to kind of close out the game on your side? What kind of struggles did you guys have in each other? We thought we were in trouble, you know. But we have this one chance to turn the game around, so we were still focusing really hard. And the first Baron, it was a perfect try. So let's check out this clip together.
자, 이때 오더는 누가 있는지
Whose call was it?
일단 조커 선수가 일단
Well,
먼저
Joker
치려고는
said, let's try Baron.
치려고 했는데
So
사실
we did. However,
스마트폰이었는데
it was a smite
운이
fight,
좋아서
but we were lucky.
제가 판단이 근거가 뭐였는지 좀 궁금해서
So how were you able to kind of make that decision?
하는 편인가요?
Was that just
네, 딱히
from the luck? Nothing
네,
special,
네,
yeah.
그런 것 같아요.
네,
I guess.
오늘 샌드박스에게 또 대지용도 있고 해가지고 좀
You
도움이
did
됐을
have
것
a
같은데
mountain drake as well, so
샌드박스가
did
그동안
it
영혼이 없다
also
이런
help
많이
you? Because
오늘
back in the
말씀하셨는데
days, a lot of people have been saying that you guys were picking up really bad dragons.
네, 이 세트에
Yeah, I
특히
agree. I think today we were able to get some good dragons this time around.
일조를 했습니다. 다시 한번 정말 축하드리고요. 자, 팬분들이
So the
코칭
fans
스태프에 대한
also
신뢰가
have a
정말
huge
엄청납니다.
belief in the coaching staff,
부모님의
especially your head
피드백도
coach.
정말 좋고요.
I heard
오늘
he's
경기
giving you
끝나고
guys a lot of
질문이
quality
있는데요.
feedbacks.
딱 첫 마디가
So what did it say after today's victory?
감독님께서
2세트까지 끝나고요.
After game number 2?
아 제가 기억력이 잘 안 좋아서.
Well, I have a really bad memory, so I
이게-
don't really
좀
remember.
죄송한데 잘 기억이
I'm
안
sorry.
나네요.
네, 승리의 기쁨을 워낙 만끽하고
아,
있어서
그럼요.
I think
네.
he was, happy.
분명히 너무 잘했다고 해주시지 않았을까?
아, 칭찬.
I
네,
think,
해주셨어요.
he was
네,
giving me
해주셨어요.
some compliments, I guess.
아 죄송합니다.
I'm sorry, coach.
네, 샌드박스 오늘도 정말 좋은 모습 보여주셨고요. 이 다음 대결이 아프리카인데요.
Your next
이번 시즌
opponent
가장
is
주목받는 팀
Africa.
중에 하나입니다.
Africa is one of the strongest team in LCK currently.
선수의 전략
So,
들어볼게요.
any strategy you can leak?
전략은,
Strategy,
2세트처럼
like game number 2.
잘안 풀리면
If
아마
things
승부를
go
잘
things
풀지
go
않을까.
wrong, maybe we
그런
can
식으로
try some
항상
big
게임을
plays to turn the game around.
어려운 상황에서도 잘 풀어나가시길 바라겠습니다. 자, 그리고 서밋
And
선수,
Summit.
아까 유칼 선수가 굉장히 도전적인
유칼.
얘기를 하기도 했는데 뭐 서밋 선수도 시원하게
Said
아프리카
some
팀에게 한마디
trash talk
부탁드릴게요.
after the MVP interview. So, do you have anything on your side?
SKT 같은 강팀들에 다
We
꺾었으니까
already took down the stronger
아프리카
teams like
패스로
Griffin and SK Telecom.
잘
So,
이기지
Africa,
않을까
I think we will be able to win again.
자신감 있는 모습 기대해 보도록 하겠습니다. 오늘 승리 다시 한번 축하드리고요.
Once again,
인터뷰
congratulations on the win, and thank you very much for this interview. This will be the end of the interview with SANDBOX players, and I'm going to pass it back to our casters. Thank you.
Thanks so much, Ji-Sun. And I think Summit needs to refresh on the power rankings of the LCK before he makes comments like that, because the FLICKR are looking pretty damn dangerous at this point in time. And Griffin and SKT not necessarily up there, although the standings still say Griffin on top, and their last performance was very, very strong.
I mean, SK Telecom, they're fighting against relegation, all right? That's what's
Yeah.
going on here.
And we're in a world where we're going to have possibly 5 teams on 3 and 1, or basically tied for first with only points separating them, and only 1 point at that for a lot of these. Gen.G will be playing tomorrow, and they have an opportunity to get themselves into that 3 and 1 spot. It's really, really close to the top here in the LCK, and that Africa victory over Kingzone is largely what did it. Kingzone could have been 4-0, really starting to create a gap here, but wasn't to be the case. As here's tomorrow's matches. This is going to be yourself and Valdez,
You're not here
LS.
with me. Just let's not even talk about it.
Look, it was a favor. I had to come in, and
I
I
don't wanna
know
hear it.
today's games weren't necessarily as good on paper as they are, but I just had to make the sacrifice. Okay. No, this is more bottom of the table stuff. But Gen.G taking on KT for a spot towards the very top of the standings in Gen.G's case, and KT trying to fight back after they came out with a win against Jin-Air, and otherwise things haven't necessarily looked so good. And Gen.G, I feel like they have turned themselves around. I think things are looking better here.
Yeah, Gen.G is looking a little bit better, but we'll have to see if KT can turn things around tomorrow. There's still a lot of hype around.
You're exactly right, but we'll have to wait until then. For now, good night, everyone.
You take me higher when I feel low. Make my world brighter when I'm alone. I keep on rolling, all with your fuel. You're like my gasoline that makes my dream come true. 'Cause this is the beginning.